Okay, so now this is a series of questions because a few people asked about this same thing. Turn to Genesis 3:15. This again about eschatology, yeah? Genesis 3:15. So you all try and guess. Don't guess. You all try and analyze. Genesis 3:15. Genesis 3:15. I know parents will now, from now onwards, always say, how many years did God give you? How many mouths did God give you? Now, Genesis 3:15. Let's read together. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Okay, now, God speak to the serpent. Alright, God speak to the serpent. I don't know, serpent. Okay, evil looking serpent. Not evil enough, but the best I can do. Okay, God speak to the serpent. What did God say? God said that, God told the serpent, let's read carefully. I will put enmity between thee and the woman. He said, I will put enmity, means you and the woman will be enemies. Okay, you and the woman there will be enmity between you, between your seed. So number one, enmity. Number two, your seed and her seed. What's the third thing? It shall bruise thy head. So the seed of the woman will bruise the head. I don't know how to bruise the head. Okay, very serious one. Will hit the head, will injure the head. In fact, will knock the head. And you shall bruise his heel. So assuming this is the seed of the woman. Seed means a child, the child of a woman. The child of the woman will bruise the serpent's head, and the serpent will bruise his heel. The heel. Okay, heel. Now, so there are two questions about this. You all try and answer. Number one, who is this woman? Number two, who is this seed? And later on, we have another question. Okay, let's read first. So you have the whole picture. Let's turn. So another person asked about this. Revelation chapter 12. Let's turn to Revelation chapter 12, verse 1 to 6. Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 to 6. Revelation chapter 12, verses. The person who asked this question isn't here. Okay, I will answer anyway. Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 to 6. So we have one woman here, right? 12, 1 to 6. Can we read together? And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, and they shall feed her there 1,260 days. So we read all this. Now, in Revelation, there is another color, another woman. In Revelation, there is another woman, another woman, okay? And then there's another child. There's another child. Okay? Woman gave birth to this child. Woman gave birth to this child. So there are two parts to this question. Number one, the person asked. Let's answer about the woman. Who is this woman and who is this woman? The person asked, are they relatives? Are they relatives? Okay, do you think they're relatives? So what do you think? Jaslyn, who do you think this woman is in Genesis 3:15? Who do you think this woman is? Say again. This woman is Eve. So that's one. Wait, let's put one. So one guess is Eve. Okay, next. Who want to put their hand? Try. Noah.
Is it just women in general?
It's just woman in general. Okay, general woman. General woman. What else? Anna. Not your mommy. Which? Who? Just women in general. Shama. Oh, Samuel is there, so quiet. Samuel, have you recovered? Who do you think it is, Samuel? This woman here in Genesis 3, that whose child will bruise the serpent's head and the serpent will bruise his heel. Eve. Eve again. Okay, last guess. Cornelius. Huh? Cornelius, what? Cornelius, someone new. Mary. Which Mary? Mary Magdalene. Jesus' mother. Jesus' earthly mother. Okay? So all this. Okay, now we guess the child. Very quickly. Mabel, who's this child? Jesus. So Jesus. Cornelius, you want to say something also? Who's this child? Jesus. Any other answer? Samuel. Isaac. Who else? Last one. Any other try? Okay. So, when we look at the Bible, now look at Galatians 3:16. Galatians 3:16. Galatians 3:16. Now let's read Galatians 3:16 together. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made, and not to seeds as of many, but of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. So this singular seed, not many seed, it refers to Christ. So you're right. All right. So Samuel, this based on Galatians 3, this will not be Isaac. This is very clearly that seed was Jesus Christ. Okay, Jesus Christ. So most of you understand now, this is Jesus Christ. And this woman, Eve, like many of you, this woman, Eve thought it was her. When Eve had a child, Eve thought that this child would be Jesus. So she said, she went to Adam, husband, I got the child. Eve heard the conversation with God and the serpent. So Eve thought she gave birth to Jesus. Did Eve give birth to Jesus? No. It will be much later on, right? Right? And in scriptures it tells us that this woman is, the person who gave birth to this child is Mary. Alright, so it's Mary. So in Genesis 3:16, this is 3:15 is talking about the future birth of Christ, and it will be a virgin birth. Now, how do you know? You look at Genesis 3. Genesis 3:15. Genesis 3:15. Genesis 3:15. Now he says, between thy seed and her seed. Your seed and her seed. Now this is a question for the adult. Seed refers to, who has the seed? It's the man that have the seed, right? Man has the seed. The woman has the womb. That's why it's very interesting when God says her seed. How come the woman can have seed? Because it's a virgin birth. Understand? This seed in her is of God. You can't say that to Joseph's seed. Was it Joseph's seed? Not Joseph's seed. Yet it's called her seed. So people back then hear, her seed? How can a woman have seed? It's from the man. But this is speaking of the virgin birth. Then therefore you know, this would be Mary. Mary. Alright? Mary. Now then, the next question is Revelation. So you turn back to Revelation. You tell me who is this woman. Revelations. Okay, this time I ask the adults. Revelation chapter 12. Now you stare at these verses. You tell me who this woman is. This woman, great wonder in heaven, clothed with sun, moon under her feet, head with crown of 12 stars, with child cried, travailing, going to give birth to the child. And then something happened in heaven. Before that, the dragon took 1/3 of the stars of heaven. They were cast down to earth. They stood before the woman and tried to devour the child. So ask the adult. First of all, who is this child? Second, who is this woman? Who wants to try? Howard, want to try? Did you do Revelation? You did? Ah, okay. Maybe you might remember. Oh, you all did the book of Revelations, right? FEBC course. So who is this woman and who is this child? Can you remember? I know the book is very difficult.
I can't remember, but I think the woman is Israel.
The woman is Israel. One. Who else? Which other adult? Want to try? Alex? Israel. Who said not Israel but something else? Maybe Mary. Is this woman Mary again? Huh? Church. Is this the church? The church. Okay? Means the New Testament church. Okay? Now, this woman would be Israel because of the hint given here. Look at chapter 12, Revelation chapter 12. Now you notice, remember Jacob had a dream, right? Jacob had a dream. And also remember, Jacob talked about the stars, was it the stars? The elements bowing to him, right? Now, how many, and not Jacob, Joseph, right? Joseph and the 12 tribes, right? Now, when you go further down, you look at this description. Where is it now? Upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. So by and large, we understand these 12 stars describe the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? The 12 tribes of Israel. And the 12 tribes of Israel having Christ, verse 2, Christ will come from the 12 tribes, will come from Israel, correct? Christ will come from Israel. So this refers to Israel through which Christ will come. Now, furthermore, how can we confirm? How can we confirm? Because when you look further down in verse 6, let's read verse 6 together. And the woman, this same woman, fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So, no space already. Now, let's see if you remember your eschatology. Anna. The whole week last week was Anna and Elim's, many Anna question. Anna and Elim. So Anna and Elim, see who comes out with the fastest answer, right? Christ came, then there is going to be rapture. We don't know when, right? We go up to heaven. Then when rapture happens, begins what? begins the what period? The Great Tribulation. Very good. Oh, both at the same time. The Great Tribulation. Okay, now try. No, Shama didn't come. Let's see if Shama knew this. How many years is the Great Tribulation? Okay, your brother wants to help. 7 years. Correct. 7 years. 7 years. And in this Great Tribulation is divided into 2 parts, correct? Divided into 2 parts. First part, false peace. Satan will give Israel false peace. So this part, there is going to be false peace. Then the second part, he is going to persecute Israel, right? We study in eschatology. He's going to persecute Israel in the second half. Now, each half is how many years? Brenda? Say again? 3.5. Each half, 3.5. All right, very scientific. 3.5. All right, 3.5 years each. Right? So you look at Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12 verse 6. Now it describes this same woman. This same woman will flee into the wilderness. For how long? 1,203 days. When you calculate that, that comes up to a figure of about 3.5 years. This woman that flee into the wilderness is talking about who will be persecuted here during this time? Israel. Because we would have been raptured, right? Israel left behind. During this period, Israel will be persecuted. And when you calculate the number of days, it's 3.5. So this verse is talking about this woman that will be persecuted for 3.5 years. And therefore this woman would be Israel. Okay? This woman will be Israel. From which the 12th tribe exists, from which the child will be born. Okay? Understand? Now, what about this part? Look at Revelation chapter 3, verse 4. 3 verse 4. And his tail, okay, the red dragon, his tail drew third part of the stars of heaven, did cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered. When do you think this is talking about? The woman about to deliver, the dragon stood before the woman, want to kill the child. All right? So Colin, when do you think this verse is talking about? About here or about Christ's birth?
I think it's the latter half.
Later half. No, this part will be Christ's birth. He's saying, now you look at the verse, and it's still. This is the dragon which stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered. Means the time when Christ was ready to come through Israel, ready to be delivered, means his birth. The Bible tells us that Satan tried to kill the child. Did Satan try to kill the child? What did he do, Brenda? He used King Herod to go and kill all the male, right? So scriptures told us this is what he would do. Okay? But did he succeed? Phoebe, did Satan manage to use Herod to kill baby Jesus? No, he did not succeed. But what about this draw 1/3 of the heaven, 1/3 of the stars in heaven down, the dragon? Okay, so you have this dragon with the tail. The Bible describes this dragon drew 1/3 of the stars of heaven down with him. Right, Caleb, very anxious to answer. Yes?
It was in the beginning when Satan fell, and then he took 1/3 of the angels.
Very good. So this verse describes Satan's fall. When Satan fell, what did Satan do? Satan took angels with him. These angels followed him, right? These angels followed him. So this is describing that, as Caleb rightly pointed out. Satan's fall, he took. Now, then we know. Did God tell us how many angels fell with Satan? 1/3. How many angels did God create? Don't know. But what we know is 1/3 followed Satan. 1/3 followed Satan. Okay? So this whole scene, so now I ask you, is this woman and Israel relatives? Is this woman in Genesis and this woman in Revelation, are they relatives? Not really. Okay? One refers to, Genesis refers to Mary and the virgin birth. Revelation, this woman refers to Israel bringing forth Christ. Okay? What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts. What church dropouts say, why they stop attending church. Now please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view, they are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from